Welcome to a transformative episode of Feel Light, Mind, and Body, episode number 41. In Mastering Your Day, the secret to scheduling and consistency, we look at a simple yet powerful truth behind achieving a lighter mind and body through the power of intentional scheduling and unwavering consistency. Hi, I'm Clarinda, and you are listening to the Feel Light, Mind, and Body podcast, created for women like you. Women who are experiencing success in so many areas of life, but are struggling with weight loss, stress eating, and decreased energy. Losing weight can feel hard, heavy, and restrictive. That's why every week I will be offering you a different perspective, tips, encouragement, and a unique approach so that you can feel lighter in your mind and body rather than feeling deprived, frustrated, or discouraged. What if you could feel free, yet in control around food for the rest of your life? What if you could enjoy your experience of losing weight and getting healthier? You absolutely can. You're in the right place. Take this time for yourself and let's dive in. So, the secret to scheduling and consistency. It really isn't a secret, but it seems like it is because our brains say that we can't do A, B, and C because of D, E, F. This topic is really a 1 to 2 hour minimum workshop, but I'm going to give you the Cole's Notes version today and then finish up next week to get you thinking and taking some action. I know a lot of you love nature, and whether you're working outside the home, at home, or retired, you can admire and relate to a thriving garden. So let's imagine your schedule as a garden plot, with each day representing a chance to plant seeds of intention. For busy women like you and me, tending to a garden might feel overwhelming amidst the demands of work and family. In this episode, I'll guide you in cultivating your daily garden of scheduling so you too can thrive and feel lighter in your mind and body. Now, in full transparency, let me add that when I was thinking of a visual example for you to relate to and gardening popped up, I kind of giggled as I thought of how I am much better at consistent scheduling than I am at keeping the weeds out of my garden. That garden isn't in my top 5 values, so it's only been added to a weekend schedule a couple of times this summer, and I'm okay with that for now. I've had past years and a different season of life that I planted seeds, perennials, and shrubs and tended them faithfully, enjoying the beauty of my efforts. There was a long rock garden lining our driveway, along with gardens along the back and the front, and also along the pool. So I too can relate to the garden analogy for flowers as well as for vegetables and fruits. So let's cultivate this example. Think of your schedule as a garden waiting to flourish. Much like a gardener selects the right soil, plants, and care routine for optimal growth, you have the power to curate a schedule that nurtures your well-being. Your schedule will look quite different than mine, hence why I don't teach a cookie-cutter approach for any area of life. If we were working together one-on-one or in a group where we could converse back and forth, we could get specific as we individualized your roles and goals. But for now, let me share some general principles to get you going for this new season. Each scheduled activity becomes a seed, and your consistency is the water and sunlight that helps them sprout. Just as a well-maintained garden thrives over time, your daily routine becomes a flourishing landscape of productivity, self-care, and fulfillment. So are you with me until the end? I hope so, because I'm going to share some exciting news that you don't want to miss out on that will help you master any area of life, and it's time sensitive. To begin, I have 3 questions for you as a check-in. So if your mind has wandered, just bring it back again. I know mine wanders sometimes with podcasts, so I'm thankful for that little circle just to the left of the play arrow to take me back 15 seconds so I don't miss anything important. And often I have to hit it 2 to 3 times. First question. Do your days often feel like a whirlwind of responsibilities, leaving you little time for yourself? What if you could master your day through smart scheduling and unwavering consistency? Remember last week in the Back to School Energy episode when I mentioned harmonious habits? Well, what if all of this could transform your hectic routine into a harmonious symphony of balance and well-being? Would that be music to your ears? Okay, don't count that last one as a question. Otherwise, I should have said 4, not 3. With these questions and your answers, I'm cultivating a desire within you to want the end product, feeling lighter in your mind and body, feeling like an empowered woman, not a disempowered woman who lives at the effect of everyone else. Your goals and dreams matter, but just like a garden needs tending, so does your life. If you wear a lot of hats or have a high demand position, and that includes you moms and grandmothers or any caregiver taking care of someone at home, your life may often feel cluttered with various responsibilities, leaving little room for self-care and personal time. In order to bring some form of balance back into your life and get out of overwhelm, I believe it's imperative to use the power of intentional scheduling, coupled with unwavering consistency. Unwavering doesn't mean being perfect, at least in my opinion, but it does mean making every effort to honor what you've thoughtfully and strategically put on your plan by tapping into that prefrontal cortex part of your brain, the part that will help you be strategic in planting those seeds and then watering, fertilizing, giving it light and love, and getting rid of the weeds so growth can happen. Do you believe that you have the power to design your day with purpose? If your answer is no, then that's where you'll need to start, with the thought work. I've heard myself say the words, "I can't help it," or "it's impossible for me," and that feels terrible, doesn't it? If you're silently nodding, know that you aren't alone. If you have someone in your life who will lovingly help you see what else could be true for you, that does help. Keep in mind that I do this daily with my clients, so no matter when you're listening to this, don't hesitate to reach out to me on any social media platform or through my website or email. You get to powerfully reset with each session. I'm here for you. And hey, we can schedule each other in. This past week on our group coaching call, as well as with a few clients, the following thoughts have come up. There aren't enough hours in a day. I'm too busy giving and doing for everyone else, so I'm too exhausted to do anything productive if I do have a few minutes. I turn to food more often than I should because it's always easy and available. Others said it feels like my deserved guilty pleasure or a comforting friend, whether that's food or wine. Everyone usually ends these statements by saying it leaves them feeling bad later. Other clients are feeling resentful that they haven't had a chance to have fun this summer, or that they're missing out on simple seasonal pleasures like time to float in the pool. In contrast, one client has only been doing pleasurable things on her time off, even though she had hoped she would work on 2 or 3 things that would have improved her quality of life. Now it's time to go back to work, and she's mad at herself that she, and this is in quotes, wasted her time off. For the purpose of this topic, let's just look at one commonality that's missing in all of these examples. No one scheduled out their day, week, or month. And I know from experience that unless it's staring me straight in the face or almost an emergency, if it's not on my calendar, then my mind will remain crammed and it most likely won't get done. And if it's not on the calendar and you don't do it, then you aren't even giving yourself a chance to create the healthy habit that you want. Scheduling is a fundamental aspect of habit formation. So, what's best to schedule first? I'm going to warn you that you may feel resistance like I first did when this concept was offered to me in my life coaching certification, especially if you're a type A or an ENFJ personality type. But are you ready for it? True self-care and fun time are what you add to your calendar first. And before you say, "But my deadlines or obligations are most important." Yes. Now let's calm your brain for a moment and consider this. If you're the one with so many people calling your name, then if you know when you're going to have time to recharge, then you won't feel resentful or stressed at helping others. Your contribution will be more impactful, and you can feel lighter in the process because you know you've built in time to also take care of yourself. I have one client whose circumstance is taking up so many hours of her day, but what I helped her see is it's also taking up more negative feeling space in her mind because of what she is telling herself. When we listen to our ruminating, disempowered thinking that we can't do anything for ourselves, We feel like a victim and helpless, and that feels awful. It's human nature to fall into that discouraged, disempowering thinking when feeling stressed and overwhelmed. I've been there, and I'll continue to dip my toe back in it as long as I'm still human. But hear me, please. That is when we really need to meet ourselves where we're at with love and compassion. Acknowledge that the situation is challenging, but ask yourself how you can fit in even 5 minutes here and there in between tasks you're responsible for. Every little bit helps. It doesn't have to be all or nothing like our brain tends to go to. Do not accept the thought that 5 minutes isn't long enough. Instead, ask how it can be beneficial. How can you maximize it? Maximizing doesn't mean action in the traditional sense, like doing more. In this context, it's about doing less and simply being. Here are some examples that work for me and now for many of my clients. Simply step outside or go to a quiet space. Close your eyes, place one hand on your belly and one hand on your heart so that you can sink into your body and connect, and take a deeper inhale and a longer exhale than usual. Do this for at least 4 or 5 times to activate your parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest system, and feel your shoulders, neck, jaw, and brow soften, then relax. You could also think or say these words out loud. I am loved. I am safe. Release. Release. All is well. I am doing this. Fill me with love, wisdom, and strength. I am serving and making a difference. This too shall pass. Feel free to use any of those, even if it's just one phrase, and it can be different for you each time. Now, if your tasks have kept you at your desk, then for your self-care time, it might be moving your body. Sometimes that means getting outside for a quick walk around the building you're in, or doing some stretches. I do all of the above, depending on what I feel my body needs. As you consistently practice this, you will become more attuned to your needs. Putting on a song and dancing it out can also be a fun energy shift. And for the second scenario, the person who is going through her days kind of randomly and mindlessly, a scheduling habit along with adding in what's fun will help her be more purposeful and productive, so she can experience more of life and not live in regret. It can encourage her to expand her circle and step outside of her comfort zone for something with more growth or challenge to it. There's too much to enjoy in life to stay in a rut. And remember, I'm going to share at the end of this episode something you'll definitely want to schedule into your calendar if there's still availability and it's what you want and need. Next, you will schedule in the must-dos for this week. I have another system that I teach for things that aren't pressing for this week, but this episode is already pushing my promised time limit, and I want to honor your time allotment so you can also start implementing. There are priority work must-dos, so schedule them in using the specific wording of a task completed. For example, for this podcast, if I just wrote in work on podcast, that only provides my mind with a vague directive. Instead, I have a block of time that's labeled brainstorm and create an outline for Feel Light, Mind and Body podcast, and I use an abbreviation for that. Then it might be a slot in the afternoon that says record and edit podcast. Be reasonable with your time, and yes, many times we have to make a guess at how long it will take, and that's okay. You're learning and actually doing it instead of procrastinating. As much as possible, I say no to things that don't align with my top 5 values so that I can say yes and show up as my best self for those that do align with my top values. Scheduling matters because it provides structure and order to your day, allowing you to allocate time for activities that contribute to your well-being. Please don't forget to schedule time for your health goals. Don't wait until you're retired or have more time. By intentionally scheduling time for your health goals, you're making a commitment to prioritize your own needs, which then allows you to show up effectively for others. Next week, we'll talk more about creating your habit rhythm and being consistent. So let's end with some key takeaways. Set clear intentions. Schedule using time blocking. Prioritize what is time sensitive and aligns with your values. And schedule in your relaxed self-care or fun time first so that you feel more motivated to schedule work items. Keep your calendar visible. Start small. Begin with achievable goals and build upon them. Overloading your schedule can lead to burnout. Gradually increase the time you allocate to each habit. Use technology. Utilize digital calendars, apps, or even old-fashioned planners to organize your schedule. Set reminders to prompt you to engage in your scheduled activities. I shared more about that last week in episode number 40 called Unlocking Your Back-to-School Energy, Building Healthier Habits for Lightness of Mind and Body. Flexibility with boundaries. While consistency is vital, allow room for flexibility. Life can be unpredictable, so be willing to adjust your schedule when necessary without feeling discouraged. Now that you have the Coles notes on how to plant the seeds of intention, when is your first planning session? It might be taking the next 5 minutes to schedule out your day. Have 3 phone calls to make? Batch them. Can you do them all within 30 minutes? That's 3 things off your mind if you can. Maybe scheduling will happen this evening, and you're going to plan out the rest of the week. Just start your way. Then you can watch your daily garden bloom from not only taking the time to schedule, but also the rewards of doing so as consistently as possible without going into perfectionistic thinking. As always, let perfectionism go, and you'll find your procrastination will lessen significantly. Okay, as promised, real quick, if you're longing for some space to breathe and reset, time alone, and also time with other women who are juggling the struggles while also embracing the beauty of life. If you want to fill your cup up in a way that leaves you feeling lighter in your heart, mind, and body, then you're invited to join me and the first 16 women who say, yes, I need and want this connection experience. It's going to be a beautiful and empowering Women's Weekend getaway this October. Click the link in the description or in Clarinda's Empowerment Coaching website blog to find out more. Imagine how awesome and motivating that would be to see that in your schedule and know it's going to happen. Life is meant to live intentionally and fully, and living an exceptional life is only one decision away. That's how you begin to create the life you want and love. I've included common Q&A on the retreat page, so check it out. Don't discount yourself. You are worthy of it, simply because you're alive and are uniquely you. To wrap this up, scheduling is more than just managing your time. It's a powerful tool for creating positive change. By incorporating consistent habits into your daily rhythm, you're investing in your own well-being and ultimately moving closer to the lightness of mind and body you desire. Thank you for joining me on this exploration of scheduling and consistency. Until part 2 next week, remember that each scheduled moment brings you closer to your goals. I'm looking forward to having a conversation about the retreat with you if you feel a desire for personal growth and increased connection, and are willing to carve out space in your schedule to honor that. Now, do yourself the biggest favor. From love, take at least one action step from what you learned today. Knowledge without application won't give you the results that you desire. Let me know on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, wherever, what you are choosing to do and when. And yes, please leave a podcast review wherever you are listening to this. When people read your words and can see themselves in them, then you are contributing to women empowering other women. And that feels amazing. You just might change or save a life today.